which makes my TBR for the Irish Readathon 4 books, which I think I can totally do in a month, because I'm really not the fastest reader among booktubers, like more like one of the slowest. I don't even know how to do the thumbnail for this without feeling the shame. Hey everyone, today I'm wrapping up my Irish Readathon. If you don't know what the Irish Readathon is, you can click the card to see my TBR for that, and you can check the description where the hosts of the Irish Readathon are all linked. Basically, the Irish Readathon was a readathon that was supposed to last the whole of March, and there were certain challenges. So today I want to do a quick wrap up of what I achieved during this Irish Readathon. The first book I read was Glenkill by Leonie Swann. Now this isn't actually called Glenkill in the English version, but once again I forgot to look up the English title. I'll just put it on the screen. Like I said in my TBR, Leonie Swann is a German author. I read this in German, but it takes place in Ireland. In my TBR, I made a little joke about how I didn't really want to read about talking sheep. Boy oh boy, was I wrong. This book was hilarious. Firstly, reading from the perspective, because that's the thing. The book is told from the perspective of these sheep, George Glen's sheep, in Ireland, Glenkill. So the story starts off with the sheep waking up one morning and they realize something smells weird. They find out that their bishop, George Glen, is dead, impaled with a spade on the lawn, just chilling. And they decide to try and find out who did it. It's hilariously told because, as I said, it's from the perspective of the sheep. They don't know like half the stuff that is completely normal to us humans. For instance, Glenkill has a priest, and they think that that priest's name is God. I just got ridiculously dizzy, and every time I stand up, it's coming back. So I'm just gonna sit down for the rest of this. They also think that the donkey from next door is called Satan. So every time one of the humans refers to Satan, they think they're talking about the donkey. It's quite hilarious, especially when they're trying to figure something out and you've already figured it out like chapters beforehand, because you as a reader are human and you understand words, and when you don't understand words you can consult a dictionary, which the sheep cannot do. But it's hilariously told. I loved it. I'm not a big fan of detective stories at all. I'm fine with watching it like as a TV show, but in books it's not really my cup of tea. But this was hilarious because of the sheep. I definitely recommend this so much. There are a couple passages that are very intense emotionally. They get kind of creepy, or, well, not creepy, more like suspenseful. A bit more than suspenseful. When the sheep get like chased by dogs, the butcher, stuff like that, which is terrifying to them. And it's conveyed in the writing, like, I am now terrified of this butcher. I finished this on, I think, the 24th of March. It legitimately took me 3 weeks to finish this. Even though I loved the way it was written and the way it was told, it kind of went on for a long time. Not in the bad way. Like, I read and I felt like once I reached the middle of the book, I felt like the pages at the back just didn't get less. Another funny little thing about this book is that there is actually a little thumb cinema of a little sheep jumping, and I love it. The second book I read was Room by Emma Donoghue. Now this has a huge post-it on it. This cover creeped me out. This book has 4 different covers. One that is white with multicolored letters. This one without the little boy, and the movie tie-in one, which has just the movie poster on it. And for some reason, I got this one. I bought this book secondhand, so you know, you never know what exactly you're gonna get. But this is terrifying. I was so creeped out by this book simply because of this picture of the boy on the cover. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's blown out, we can't really see. No, that's actually what it looks like. Faceless, blurry little boy. Can you understand why I was creeped out? When I filmed my TBR, I mentioned that I'm getting Natasha Kampusch vibes from this. Surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. It was more of a Kaspar Hauser situation, which is actually mentioned in the book, which I think is interesting. Since I know a little more about it now, I will tell you It's the story of little Jack. Jack is 5 years old and he lives with his mom in room. He knows nothing else. He's never been outside. He's never left room. They spend their days there. They exercise. They play. They watch TV. They have a TV. And everything that's in the real world, like trees, birds, planes, he thinks that those are all fantasy. They're in TV. They don't exist in real life. Just him and his ma are real, and Old Nick. Old Nick is the man that comes at night and brings food and stuff. He also takes out the trash. It obviously transpires that this is very much a Kaspar Hauser situation. Jack's mother has been kidnapped by this man, Old Nick, and has been incarcerated in that room for long enough that Jack has been born there, and he grew up knowing nothing except this room. The whole story is told from Jack's perspective, so it was actually a very natural transition from the sheep story, because once again, I had a narrator who didn't know certain things and who kept asking stuff. I loved that. The sentences are very short and simple, as a 5-year-old would tell a story. He also refers to all the items in room as if they were people. They have pronouns, they have capital letters at the beginning of the word, and it's quite endearing. I actually had to ask my sister to watch the trailer for the movie for me beforehand so that I could ask her, is it absolutely super creepy or can I read it? However, I did see the poster for the movie, which is kind of spoilery. In case you haven't seen the poster of the movie, just don't look it up. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. But yeah, I absolutely loved this book. I expected that I was gonna like it. I didn't expect that I was gonna like it this much. I honestly didn't expect that it was gonna be told from Jack's perspective with an I narrator. I thought it was gonna be like the Harry Potter books, for example, they're told from Harry's perspective, but it's a third person narrator. And this is Jack narrating the book, and it's written like a 5-year-old would tell a story. And I absolutely loved that. It made the whole thing much more bearable for me, because I think that if, say, his mother had been the narrator, it would have been very, very different for me, and I wouldn't have been able to read it. Actually, I would have had to read it in one sitting, just like I did with 10 Little Indians, because creep. The last book I read for the Irish Readathon is the second installment of The Sheep Detective Stories by Leonie Swann. Or did I? I started it. I'm 34 pages in. Look, it took me 3 weeks to finish Glenkill, and then 6 days to finish Room. How far did you think I was gonna come in this? I literally said that I'm not the fastest reader. I am literally the slowest reader on Booktube. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that I managed to start a third book. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Have you read any of these books? If so, tell me in the comments what you thought about them. If you want to see more of me, then you can subscribe to my channel up here, or you can subscribe to my other channel where I talk about mental health and trans issues down here. You can click here to see a video that YouTube thinks you're gonna like, and I will see you again next Saturday. Bye!